Vincent Romano opens the front door of his Brooklyn brownstone and freezes completely. What he's seeing is impossible. His son Danny is laughing. For the first time in 2 years, since the accident that killed Catherine and left the boy in a wheelchair, Danny is truly laughing. A young woman gently pushes his wheelchair through the living room, making funny voices and silly faces. Here comes the brave little lion in his special car. Roar. He's going to save all the forest animals. Danny claps weakly, but he's clapping. His eyes shine in a way Vincent had forgotten existed. The boy moves his arms, trying to imitate the sounds the woman makes. Tears come without warning to Vincent's eyes. 2 thick tears roll down his face. It's a miracle. It's impossible. But it's happening. The emotion is so overwhelming that Vincent drops his keys. The sound echoes through the room. The magic breaks immediately. Danny stops laughing, shrinks into his chair, and becomes the apathetic child Vincent knows again. It's like someone turned off a light. Who are you? What are you doing with my son? Vincent's voice comes out trembling between emotion and desperation. The woman stands up quickly, smoothing her uniform. Hi, I'm Sarah Miller. I came to work here today. Didn't the agency tell you? They didn't say anything. Vincent looks at Danny, who is now staring at his own hands. The change was brutal. From happy boy to broken boy in 2 seconds. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to come back another day? I didn't mean to intrude. There's something different about how Sarah treats Danny. She doesn't look at him with pity, doesn't treat him like a charity case. She treats him like a normal child. You can stay. Just be careful with him. My son is very fragile. Sarah looks at Danny and then at Vincent. Her eyes say she doesn't agree. To her, the boy doesn't seem fragile. He just seems very lonely. Okay, I'll be careful. But Vincent sees that she won't stop playing with Danny. And for the first time in a long time, he's not even sure he wants her to stop. On the second day, Vincent spies from the office window. Sarah is working in the garden and Danny is on the porch watching her. She's not just cleaning, she's telling stories. You know what happened this morning? The flowers told me a secret. That rose over there? She's kind of dramatic, complains about the sun all day long. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, I'm so thirsty. The little daisy is shy. She only talks like this, whispering softly. Sarah makes different voices, some high-pitched, others deep. She makes an angry face for the rose and a shy face for the daisy. Danny watches everything carefully. It's more interest than he's shown in anything in 2 years. Vincent feels a pain in his chest. When was the last time he tried to make his son laugh? When did he stop trying? Because it hurt too much to see Danny with no reaction. The memory comes suddenly. Catherine pushing Danny on the swing, both of them screaming with joy. Higher, Mommy! Higher! It was a Saturday morning, the last Saturday before everything ended. Vincent closes his eyes. If he hadn't insisted Catherine go to the grocery store with him, if he had driven slower in the rain, if... A sound pulls him from the dark thoughts. Danny is clapping again. Stronger this time. A round of applause for Sarah's performance. It's the first movement Vincent has seen his son make on his own in months. Mr. Romano. Sarah's voice startles him. She came up to the porch without him noticing. Sorry to bother you. I just wanted to know if I can make a snack for Danny. He barely ate anything at breakfast. Vincent looks at his son. It's true. Danny only eats just enough to survive. No desire, no pleasure. You can try. But he's difficult about food. Can I make some sandwiches cut into animal shapes? Sometimes it works when it's fun. Vincent wants to say that nothing works with Danny, that he's tried everything, but there's hope in Sarah's eyes. You can try. An hour later, Sarah comes back with a tray. The sandwiches are cut into butterfly shapes with cherry tomatoes for antennae and lettuce for wings. Look here. The little butterflies came to have lunch with you. They're starving, sweetie. Danny looks at the tray curiously, hesitating. Then he picks up a butterfly and takes a small bite. Vincent almost shouts with emotion from the window. Danny ate on his own, by choice. That's it, champ. The butterflies loved you. They said you're the kindest boy they've ever met. When Sarah is about to leave, she crouches down to Danny's height. Tomorrow we'll play more. Okay, Prince? Danny nods. It's very subtle, but it's a clear yes. Vincent feels something he hasn't felt in 2 years. Real hope. 3 days later, Sarah's special routine with Danny has become tradition. She transformed cleaning the house into a grand adventure. In the morning, she pushes his chair around the house, making up stories about everything. The living room vase becomes a castle. The chandelier becomes a spaceship. The stairs become a mountain of friendly dragons. Danny reacts more each day, points at things when he wants Sarah to tell stories about them, moves his mouth as if trying to speak. His eyes are shining again. During playtime in the living room, Sarah puts on kids' music and starts dancing around Danny's chair. "Let's dance, Prince. You move your little arms and I'll move your little feet." Danny raises his arms and sways to the rhythm. It's not much, but it's participation. It's life coming back. Vincent watches hidden in the doorway. He wants to come in and participate, but he's afraid of ruining everything. He's afraid that getting close will make Danny go back to silence. During afternoon snack time, the impossible happens. Sarah is telling an adventure where she and Danny are brave explorers. And now, brave explorer Danny, we need to cross the river of hungry alligators. Do you have the courage? Danny looks at her with total attention. His mouth moves very slowly. Vincent leans forward, his heart racing. Then softly, like a whisper, Danny speaks. "Mup, mup." Vincent freezes. Danny tried to say, "Mama." "No, Mommy," referring to Catherine. "Mama," looking at Sarah. Sarah gets emotional but doesn't make a scene. She just smiles warmly. "That's right, my prince. You're a magical boy, that's what you are." When Sarah leaves that day, she walks differently. There's hope in her steps and determination in her gaze. She did it. She actually got Danny to react. But neither Vincent nor Sarah know that someone was watching from the second-floor window. A shadow that followed every movement, every small bit of progress. And that shadow wasn't happy at all with what it saw. A week later, on Sarah's 7th day of work, everything changes. She's pushing Danny's chair down the hallway, singing softly, when the doorbell rings. Vincent goes to answer and she hears a muffled conversation at the door. Then footsteps approaching. "Danny, there's someone very special here to see you." Vincent's voice sounds strange, mixed with emotion and shock. When the woman enters the living room, Sarah feels like the world has stopped. It's impossible. It can't be real. The woman is identical to Catherine's photos scattered throughout the house. Same height, same blonde hair, same blue eyes, same way of dressing. It's as if Vincent's dead wife had come back to life. The impact on Danny is devastating. The boy lets out a strangled scream of terror and starts trembling violently in his chair. His eyes fill with tears as he stares at the apparition. "Hi, my little angel. Auntie Victoria is back." The voice is also almost identical to Catherine's. Victoria approaches and kisses Danny's forehead. He continues trembling with fear. Vincent is clearly shaken. His hands tremble as he makes the introductions. "Sarah, this is Victoria, my wife's twin sister. Victoria, this is Sarah, our employee." Victoria extends her hand to Sarah with a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. There's something cold about that smile. "Pleasure, Sarah. I hope you're taking good care of our family." "Our family?" The word sounds possessive. "I'm doing my best. I'm sure. Vincent told me you've been very affectionate with Danny." There's something in the way Victoria speaks that makes Sarah uncomfortable, as if her affection for Danny is wrong. Vincent explains the situation while Danny remains in a state of shock. "Victoria was in Europe recovering from losing Catherine. Now she's back to stay close to us, help with Danny." "That's good. He really needs family." Sarah tries to sound sincere, but something doesn't add up. If Victoria was recovering from grief, why does she seem so controlled, so calculating? Exactly. Family understands family better than anyone. Right, Vincent? The way Victoria looks at Vincent is loaded with meanings Sarah doesn't understand. There's history there. Old feelings. "Danny, honey, aren't you going to give Auntie a hug?" Victoria tries to hug the boy, but he shrinks in his chair, making sounds of desperation. "He's still very sensitive," Vincent explains quickly. "The accident left him very traumatized." "Of course I understand. But I'm family, Vincent. I'm the person most like Catherine who exists. If anyone can help him get better, it's me." Sarah looks at Danny and sees something frightening. All the progress from the past week has vanished. The boy has gone back to the apathetic state of the first months after the accident. Worse, he seems terrified. Victoria notices Sarah's worried look and smiles coldly. You must be wondering about the resemblance, right? Yes. Catherine and I were identical twins. Everyone says even our personalities were similar. But Sarah sees that Victoria's eyes are different. Catherine radiated warmth in the photos. Victoria radiates something cold. Vincent is visibly emotional seeing Victoria. For him, it must be like having a living version of Catherine back. It's so good to have you here, Victoria. Danny needs a mother figure, and you're the closest person to Catherine we have. Exactly. And now that I'm here, I can personally take care of him. I'm sure Sarah understands that being family, I have priority in decisions about Danny. The message is clear and direct. Victoria is marking her territory. Of course, Sarah responds, but there's resistance in her voice. When Vincent leaves to get Victoria's suitcases from the car, she approaches Sarah. The smile disappears completely. Just to be clear, she whispers low, only for Sarah to hear. I hope you understand what your place is in this house. You're the help. I'm family. Don't forget that. The tone is pure threat. When Vincent returns, Victoria is smiling sweetly again. Sarah looks at Danny one last time before leaving. The boy looks at her with pleading eyes, as if begging not to be left alone with the woman identical to his dead mother. But Sarah can't do anything. Victoria is right. She's just the help. That night, for the first time in months, Danny wets the bed again. Vincent finds his son crying in the dark, whispering softly, "Mommy, Mommy." But he's not calling for Catherine. He's scared of the woman identical to her. A few days after Victoria's arrival, the house has become a completely different place. Danny has regressed in a way Vincent has never seen. The boy won't stop crying, doesn't want to eat, and refuses to leave his room. Every time he sees Victoria, he trembles and makes sounds of desperation. Sarah tries to continue with the games, but something has changed. Danny doesn't respond anymore. He seems constantly afraid of something. It's one afternoon that Sarah discovers what's happening. She was passing through the hallway when she hears Victoria speaking softly in Danny's room. She hides behind the door and hears a conversation that freezes her blood. You know, Danny, Mommy got very worried that day because you were crying in the car. She got distracted trying to calm you down. The boy makes a sound of pain. If you get very agitated again, cry loudly, make noise. Well, you understand, right? We don't want anything to happen to Daddy. Sarah feels her heart race. Victoria is making a traumatized child feel guilty for his own mother's death. And if you tell anyone about our little conversation, I'll be very sad and maybe I'll have to leave. Then Daddy will be alone again, just like when Mommy left. Do you want that? Sarah hears Danny crying softly. The child is being emotionally manipulated by his own aunt. When Victoria leaves the room, Sarah hides quickly. She goes straight to Danny and finds the boy curled up in his chair, tears on his face. Hi, my prince. Is everything okay? Danny looks at her with terror in his eyes, makes desperate gestures with his hands, pointing to his own mouth and shaking his head. He's saying he can't speak. Then he points to his mother's photo and makes a gesture as if something bad will happen. Sarah understands. He believes that if he makes noise, people will get hurt. What did she do to you, sweetheart? But Danny can only cry silently, too terrified to react. That night, Vincent finds Danny crying in the dark again. It's the 4th time this week. What's wrong, son? Tell Daddy. But Danny can't speak. He's too afraid that something will happen to his father if he opens his mouth. The following week, Victoria begins phase 2 of her plan, destroying Vincent's trust in Sarah. She plants small doubts during casual conversations. Vincent, don't you think it's strange how Danny got worse after this nanny arrived? What do you mean? Think about it. He was stable, within his little problem. Then this woman comes along creating expectations, promising improvement, and look at how he is now. Vincent becomes thoughtful. It's true that Danny is much worse, but this started when Victoria arrived, not when Sarah arrived. But he can't see that. There's something else worrying me. Yesterday I heard her telling Danny that Catherine sends kisses from heaven. It's not true, but Vincent has no way of knowing. She said that? Yes, Vincent. It confuses his mind. He keeps expecting his mother to come back. A traumatized child can't hear these things. Victoria plants more lies over the following days. She makes up that Sarah told Danny his mother is alive in his heart and that one day they'll meet again. I didn't want to say anything, but yesterday she was teaching him to blow kisses to the sky. When I asked, she said it was to communicate with Mommy. Vincent, this is way too dangerous. Victoria's lies are smart. She takes things an affectionate person might actually say and twists everything. Vincent, already shaken by Victoria's presence, which reminds him of Catherine all the time, starts to believe. The situation explodes when Victoria shows Vincent a paper she found in the trash. Look what she wrote and threw away. Danny needs a mother. Maybe I can be that person for him. Vincent, this woman is obsessed with replacing Catherine. The paper was written by Victoria herself, but Vincent doesn't suspect. That afternoon, he calls Sarah to talk. I need to talk to you. I've been hearing about some things that worry me. What things, mister? Romano? You've been telling Danny that his mother sends kisses from heaven, that he can communicate with her? Sarah is shocked. She never said anything like that. I never said that. I just sing songs, play with him. And this paper? You wrote that you want to be my son's mother? What paper? I didn't write any paper. But Vincent is too confused to believe her. Victoria has done a very good job. Look, I don't know what's going on, but my son is getting worse every day. Maybe you should rethink all this closeness. Sarah leaves the conversation devastated. She knows she didn't do anything wrong, but she can't prove it. And worst of all, Danny is suffering more and more. At the end of the following week, Vincent makes a decision that breaks Sarah's heart. Starting today, you can't be alone with Danny anymore. Only clean when Victoria or I am around. The order is a punch to Sarah's stomach. She's being separated from the only child she managed to help. But Mr. Romano, I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's for my son's good. Danny doesn't understand why his only source of affection was taken away. He sees Sarah every day, but now she can only clean while being watched. She can't play anymore, tell stories, or sing. The boy becomes even more depressed, stops eating almost everything, doesn't sleep well, goes back to the state of total apathy from the first months after the accident. Vincent notices something is wrong but can't figure out what. His son is getting much worse, but everyone says it's normal. It's during this time that Vincent starts noticing strange things about Victoria. She says she was in Europe for 2 years but knows very specific details about the house's current routine. She knows where things are, remembers his habits that changed just a few months ago. One night, Vincent is passing by Danny's room when he hears Victoria talking inside. Her tone is different from the sweet one she uses in front of him. And if you try to tell Daddy about our conversation, I'll have to leave. And you know what will happen? He'll be so sad he might get sick like Mommy. Vincent is confused. What conversation? Why would Victoria say that? But when he enters the room, he finds Victoria singing softly to Danny. He was agitated. She explains sweetly. I was just calming him down. Vincent isn't sure what he heard. Maybe he imagined it. It's in the middle of the night that everything becomes chaos. Vincent hears Danny crying desperately. When he goes to check, he finds Sarah already in the room consoling the boy. She disobeyed orders. What are you doing here? Didn't I say you couldn't be alone with him? Mr. Romano, he was crying so much, I just wanted to help. It doesn't matter. You disobeyed. Sarah looks at Danny, who is clinging to her shirt as if she's the only protection he has in the world. He needs me, Mr. Romano. Something is making him very scared. What she doesn't know is that Victoria is at the door watching with a satisfied smile. Everything is going according to plan. A few days later, Sarah decides she needs to understand what's happening. If she can't help Danny directly, she'll find out why a child who was improving so much got brutally worse. The suspicions start by chance. During a casual conversation, Victoria comments about a new bakery that opened 6 months ago in the neighborhood. Oh, those sugar donuts are delicious, right, Sarah? Sarah becomes thoughtful. How would Victoria know if she was in Europe? Then she notices Victoria knows the song Vincent has been listening to lately. A song that only started playing on the radio 3 months ago. And there are more strange things. Victoria knows Vincent changed the brand of coffee he buys. She knows he changed his gym schedule. Small things, but things someone who was away for 2 years shouldn't know. The real discovery happens by pure chance. Sarah is tidying the living room when Victoria's purse falls to the floor. Several things scatter. Helping to gather them, Sarah sees an electric bill. The date is from 3 months ago. The address is an apartment here in the city. Victoria wasn't in Europe, she was living right nearby. But why would she lie about it? Sarah starts noticing other things. Photos on Victoria's phone show her in places around the city during the supposed 2 years away. A selfie at the local mall dated 6 months ago. Another at the neighborhood park 4 months ago. Everything is a lie. It's at this moment that Danny manages to communicate with her in a desperate way. The boy makes a huge effort to scribble on paper. 2 identical female figures inside a car. Sarah looks at the drawing and feels a chill run down her spine. Danny saw something on the day of the accident. Something involving 2 identical women. Victoria was in the car when Catherine died. But before Sarah can think properly about this, she hears footsteps behind her. Finding anything interesting? Victoria is at the door. The smile has completely disappeared from her face. I was just helping gather the things that fell from your purse. How convenient that you're always in the right place at the right time, huh? Victoria's tone is ice cold. Sarah knows she's been caught investigating, and something in Victoria's eyes says she won't forget this. That night, Sarah arrives home and the door is ajar. Her heart races. She's sure she locked it when she left. She enters slowly and sees nothing was stolen. But there are muddy footprints on the floor. In the bathroom, written on the mirror with lipstick, there's a message that makes her blood run cold. You have a beautiful family. It would be a shame if something happened to them. The following week, Sarah can't forget the message on the mirror. Someone entered her house. Someone who knows where her family lives. But she can't give up now. Danny is suffering too much and she's the only one who realizes what's really happening. The first clue comes by pure chance. Sarah is cleaning the living room table when she sees some papers scattered. They're bank documents someone forgot there. Vincent's name is highlighted. Inheritance transfer, 50 million. Sarah is confused. Vincent never mentioned any inheritance. She looks at the date. 2 months ago. Exactly when Victoria came back from Europe. What a strange coincidence, she thinks. Victoria disappears for 2 years and comes back right when Vincent becomes a multimillionaire. A few days later, something happens that makes Sarah even more suspicious. She's tidying the guest room when she finds medications in the dresser drawer. They're strong sedatives in Victoria's name. The prescription is from 6 months ago, prescribed by a doctor here in the city. If Victoria was in Europe for 2 years, how did she get medication here 6 months ago? Another lie. Sarah starts noticing other small things. Victoria knows the name of the pizza delivery guy who started working 4 months ago. She knows the corner pharmacy changed owners recently. She knows details a person who was out of the country shouldn't know. It's during a conversation with Vincent that Sarah discovers something even more disturbing. You know, to this day I don't understand how Catherine lost control of the car. Vincent comments sadly. She'd been driving for years, knew that road by heart. What do you mean? She was super careful, never speeded. On the day of the accident, she was even going slow because of the rain, but the car went off the road as if, I don't know, as if someone had pulled the steering wheel. Sarah's heart races. Someone pulled the steering wheel. And Danny, did he say anything about the accident in the first days after? He cried and made strange gestures like he'd seen 2 people fighting. But the doctor said it was trauma, that kids make things up. 2 people fighting, just like the drawings Danny makes to this day. That night, Sarah can't sleep. The pieces are fitting together in a terrifying way in her mind. If Victoria never left the city, if she came back because of the money, if Danny saw 2 people fighting in the car, and if the accident wasn't an accident. The idea is so terrible she tries to push it away, but she can't. A 6-year-old wouldn't invent such specific drawings about cars and women fighting. A few days later, Vincent decides to talk about the inheritance. Sarah, I didn't mention this before, but my grandfather died 2 months ago. He left a pretty considerable inheritance to me. Oh, really? That's good, Mr. Romano. Sarah pretends to be surprised, but now she understands everything. That's why Victoria showed up exactly at this time. $50 million, imagine. Changes your life, right? Wow, that's a lot of money. Victoria is helping me think about what to do with this money. She suggested we could sell this house, buy something smaller, maybe move to another city. Sarah feels a chill in her stomach. Victoria wants to take Vincent and Danny far away, Isolate them from anyone who might interfere with her plans. And Danny, how is he with this idea of moving? Vincent sighs deeply. He gets agitated when we talk about it. Just yesterday, he drew those strange things again. What kind of things? Cars, women, confusing drawings. Victoria thinks it's his mind trying to forget the trauma. Sarah is sure it's not that. Danny is trying to tell the truth the only way he can. Can I see the drawings? Vincent hesitates. Victoria said it's better not to give it too much attention, that the more we focus on the trauma, the worse it gets for him. Of course. She understands perfectly. Victoria doesn't want anyone to see what Danny is trying to communicate. That afternoon, she manages to be alone with Danny for a few minutes. The boy is in the living room looking out the window. Hi, my prince. Are you okay? Danny looks at her with those sad eyes, makes a gesture pointing to the paper and pencil on the table. You want to draw something? He nods, picks up the pencil with trembling hands, and starts scribbling. The drawing that emerges is clearer than the others. Two identical women inside a car, one holding the steering wheel, the other pulling hard, and a small boy crying in the back seat. Sarah feels her blood run cold. You saw this happen, sweetheart? On the day Mommy got hurt? Danny nods, tears in his eyes. Was Aunt Victoria in the car? Another yes. Were they fighting over the steering wheel? Danny cries and points to Victoria's figure in the drawing. Then he makes a sudden movement with his hands, as if pulling something. Sarah hugs the boy, who throws himself into her arms crying. It's the first time in weeks he sought affection from someone. You were very brave to show me this. But when she looks up, she sees Victoria standing in the doorway with that cold smile she knows well. What a beautiful scene, Victoria says. You two are very close indeed. Danny immediately pulls away from Sarah and goes back to his apathetic state. The fear has returned. Vincent arrives at that moment. Did something happen? Nothing much, Victoria answers quickly. Just Sarah consoling Danny again. She has a very special way with him. The way she speaks makes it clear she'll use this against Sarah later. In the following days, Victoria increases the pressure from all sides. With Vincent, she plants more doubts about Sarah. Have you noticed how Danny clings to her? That's not right, Vincent. A traumatized child can't create this dependency on an employee. With Danny, she intensifies the emotional blackmail. Did you show any drawings to Sarah? Because if you did, she could get into very serious trouble and Daddy could get upset too. And with Sarah, the threats become clearer. You have a beautiful family, don't you? Your mother, your brother. It's important we take good care of those we love. The way Victoria speaks makes Sarah shiver. How does she know about her family? By the way, how's your mother? Still living in that little blue house? Sarah freezes. She never said where her mother lives. And your brother John, right? Still works at the gas station on Main Street? Sarah's heart races. Victoria investigated her entire family. Why are you asking me this? Just curious. The same way you're curious about certain things. The threat is crystal clear. If Sarah continues asking questions, her family might pay the price. That night, she calls her family members. Mom, are you guys okay there? We are, honey. Why? If any stranger shows up there, don't open the door, okay? What stranger, Sarah? You're worrying me. Just be careful, Mom. But Sarah knows that being careful won't be enough. Victoria has already shown she's capable of anything. It's during this time that she realizes she's being watched. Victoria appears in the most unexpected places, always with excuses. Oh, what a coincidence running into you here at the bakery. Wow, you also came to the supermarket today. The coincidences are too many to be random. Sarah is being followed. During one of these coincidences, Victoria lets something revealing slip. You know, Sarah, some people ask too many questions in life and that can be complicated for them. What do you mean? I mean that excessive curiosity sometimes brings problems, especially when it messes with things that should have stayed in the past. Victoria doesn't confess anything directly, but the message is clear. She knows Sarah has discovered too much. You understand what I'm saying, right? Sarah just nods, pretending not to understand, but inside she's terrified. End of the 6th week. Victoria realizes she needs to act soon. Danny keeps trying to communicate with Sarah through drawings. Vincent is starting to ask questions about the inconsistencies in her story, and Sarah knows too much. It's time to solve the problem once and for all. That afternoon, Vincent leaves to handle inheritance matters. Danny is sleeping in the living room after lunch. The house is silent. "Sarah, how about some tea? You seem very tense lately." Sarah is suspicious but doesn't want to seem paranoid. "Thank you, Ms. Victoria." Victoria prepares the tea in the kitchen, takes one of her sedatives and mixes it into the hot liquid. It's a strong medication she uses to sleep. "Here you go. It's a calming tea. I always use it when I'm anxious." The tea has a strange taste, kind of bitter. Sarah notices on the first sip. It tastes different. "That's because I put a little honey in it. Makes it tastier." Sarah pretends she's going to drink it, but when Victoria isn't looking, she pours the liquid into the plant pot next to the chair. "You know, Sarah, I've been thinking about our situation here." "What situation?" "Well, you've been very observant lately. You ask a lot of questions about the family." Victoria's tone is changing, getting colder. "People who are too curious sometimes discover things that can be dangerous for them." Sarah pretends she's getting drowsy, leaning her head on the chair. "I don't understand." "Of course you do. You know exactly what I'm talking about." Victoria approaches, thinking the sedative is taking effect. Some people don't know when to stop meddling where they shouldn't, and that can bring sad consequences. She crouches near Sarah, whispering, "You have such a beautiful family. It would be a shame if something happened to them because of your curiosity." Sarah continues pretending she's almost passing out, but inside she's alert. What do you want?" "What I've always wanted. For you to disappear from our lives, from Vincent's life, from Danny's life." Victoria walks around the room speaking as if thinking out loud. "You know what the story will be? You were very depressed because you couldn't help a traumatized child. The weight was too much. You decided it wasn't worth it anymore." Sarah realizes Victoria is planning to make it look like she killed herself. Why are you doing this?" Victoria stops and looks at her. "Because I can finally have the life that should have always been mine. I met Vincent first. I loved him first. Catherine came and ruined everything." The words come out loaded with years of resentment. "And now that she's not in the way anymore, I won't let some employee ruin my plans." Sarah pretends she's losing consciousness but keeps paying attention. "Vincent will be sad at first, of course, but I'll be here to console him. And Danny, well, kids forget things anyway." It's at this moment that Sarah understands Victoria isn't just dangerous to her. If she gets what she wants, that innocent child will be at the mercy of a woman capable of anything. Even pretending to be sedated, Sarah knows she needs to find a way to escape, not just to save her own life, but to protect Danny. Because if she can't stop Victoria now, no one else will be there to defend that boy. Sarah continues pretending she's almost passing out. Victoria leaves the room to get more things, thinking the sedative is working. That's when Sarah hears a sound in the hallway, small footsteps of a child. Danny woke up. The boy appears in the doorway, still sleepy. When he sees Sarah, he smiles a little. At that moment, Victoria returns carrying a rope and becomes furious seeing Sarah standing. "Well, it seems my tea didn't work right." Her tone has completely changed. There's nothing sweet left. It's the voice of someone who's tired of pretending. Danny realizes something is wrong. He looks at Sarah, then at his aunt, and his eyes fill with fear. "Good thing you woke up, Danny. You'll be able to say goodbye to your little friend." Victoria blocks the exit. Sarah tries to move but can't get past. It's at this moment that something extraordinary happens. Danny sees the woman he loves in danger and feels an urgency he hasn't felt in 2 years. He needs to protect Sarah. "No!" The scream comes from his throat like thunder. It's the first clear word in 2 years. Victoria is shocked. The rope falls to the floor. "Don't hurt!" Danny's words come out broken but determined. "Sarah, no!" He tries to form sentences, his voice hoarse from so much time stopped. She bad." Danny points at Victoria with a trembling finger. "Daddy! Daddy!" Now he can scream louder. Vincent is arriving at that moment. He hears his son's voice and runs into the house. When he sees the scene, Victoria cornered, Sarah trapped, Danny screaming, he can't understand anything. "What's going on here?" "Daddy!" Danny manages. She wants to hurt Sarah." The words come out slowly, but Vincent can understand. "Victoria, what is this?" But Danny doesn't stop. It's as if a dam has burst. "She in car with Mommy." Vincent freezes. What car? What mommy? She pulled. She pulled the steering wheel. Vincent feels the ground disappear beneath his feet. What are you saying, son? I saw everything. Danny is crying, but the words keep coming out. They fighting in car, Aunt Victoria pulled. Each word is like a punch to Vincent's stomach. Mommy fell because of her. Vincent looks at Victoria, who has gone white. That's not true, Vincent. The boy is confused, traumatized. I'm not confused. I remember. Danny's voice is getting firmer. She said she wanted you for her, that mommy stole. Vincent feels a rage growing inside him, slow but dangerous. Victoria, look me in the eyes and tell me that's not true. Vincent, you're going to believe a sick child? I'm not sick. Danny approaches his father, holding onto his leg. She said I couldn't tell, that if I talked, you would die too. Vincent looks into Victoria's eyes and sees something he'd never seen before. Fear. Guilt. You killed my wife? It's not a question. It's a statement. I would never do that. How can you think such a thing? But her voice is trembling. Because my 8-year-old son wouldn't make up a story like this. Because you disappeared right after the accident. Because you came back now that I inherited money. Vincent is putting the pieces together in his mind. Because you were always jealous of Catherine. Victoria sees she's cornered. Okay. We talked in the car, yes, but it wasn't on purpose. The words come out in desperation. She found out I still loved you. Said she was going to tell you everything. Was going to ruin any chance I had. Vincent is trembling with rage. And so you killed her. I just wanted to make her stop, just wanted to talk. But she resisted, and my wife died. And you let me blame myself for 2 years. Let my son carry this guilt. I didn't mean to. It was her fault. Danny screams, finally free. Vincent picks up his phone and dials the police. Hello? I need help. I have a murder confession here. The police arrive 15 minutes later. Vincent told them everything on the phone. When the officers enter, they find Victoria sitting on the floor crying. Vincent holding Danny. Sarah still in shock. Ms. Victoria Romano? Yes. You're under arrest for murder and attempted murder. When they put the handcuffs on, Victoria looks one last time at Vincent. I always loved you, Vincent. But not more than her. Those who love don't kill, Victoria. Vincent hugs Danny, who finally stops trembling. It's okay, son. It's over. Daddy, I didn't kill Mommy. Never, my love. You never had any fault for anything. Vincent turns to Sarah. Forgive me for not believing you, for letting this happen. You didn't know anything. No one knew. Danny runs into Sarah's arms. Sarah, are you okay? I talked. Yes, you did, my prince. You were very brave. I saved you. You did. Yes. You saved me and saved your daddy too. Vincent looks at Sarah hugging Danny and understands something he should have realized before. She's not just the employee who took care of his son. She's the woman who brought Danny back to life, who brought light into their house, who risked her life to protect a child. She's the family they chose to have. In the days that follow, Danny won't stop talking, as if wanting to make up for all the lost time. But the words still come out slowly, simple. Vincent and Sarah grow closer, not romantically yet, but like two people who went through something terrible together. Victoria is sentenced to 20 years in prison. The case makes the news, but Vincent protects Danny from reporters. The boy is recovering well, talks more each day, laughs more, plays more, and he doesn't wet the bed anymore. 1 year later, the house is different. It has life, it has laughter, it has music playing. Danny speaks normally now with the naturalness of any 9-year-old. He's still in the wheelchair, but that doesn't stop him from being happy. Vincent and Sarah have been dating for 6 months. Slowly, building a relationship based on true love, not the tragedy that brought them together. Today is a special day. Vincent is going to ask Sarah to marry him. They're in the garden. Danny plays with a kite Vincent made for him. Sarah? There's something I want to ask you. Vincent kneels on the grass at the height of her chair. Will you marry me? Sarah is speechless, tears in her eyes. Yes. Yay! Danny screams with joy, dropping the kite. Now Sarah's going to be my real mom. If you want my prince, I want it so much. The three of them hug there in the garden under the afternoon sun. After lunch, they go to the cemetery. It's the second time Danny has visited his mother's grave since the accident. Vincent pushes his chair to the headstone. Sarah walks beside them. "Hi, Mommy." Danny's voice is firm, without fear. "I came to tell you I'm okay, that we're okay." He looks at Sarah. "Sarah's going to marry Daddy. She takes care of us. I think you'd like her." Vincent squeezes Sarah's hand. "And Aunt Victoria? She won't hurt anyone anymore." Danny places a flower on the grave. "You can rest, Mommy. We're going to be okay." They stay there for a few minutes in silence. Then they walk back to the car. Vincent pushes the chair. Sarah walks alongside. Danny holds both their hands. Love defeated lies. Truth defeated fear. And a family was formed, not by blood, but by heart. When they get home, Danny asks to stay a little longer in the garden watching the stars appear. "Daddy, is Mommy happy up in heaven?" "I'm sure she is, son." "And she's not mad that Sarah's going to be my new mom?" "Of course not. She wants you to be happy." Danny smiles and looks at the sky. "Thank you, Mommy, for sending Sarah to us." Vincent and Sarah look at each other, emotional. Their life won't be perfect. There will be challenges, difficulties, hard moments. But there will be love. There will be truth. There will be a family that chose to stay together. And that's what matters. Did you like this story? Do you think Sarah got the ending she deserved? Tell me in the comments.